Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Zara and today I am going to be doing the Booktuber Newbie Tag. Well aware that I'm not actually that new to Booktube anymore. Well, I don't know, I've done a fair few videos so far. I think I've been able to hit my schedule pretty well. It's only been a couple of weeks, so I thought, let's just do it. So first question is, why did you start this channel? So in the very first video that I posted back whenever it was, I mentioned that I'd been thinking about doing a Booktube channel for a while. I do have a Bookstagram. I started that towards the end of last year, October of last year. And I don't know, I feel like speaking versus kind of writing, it's something that I generally prefer. I don't know, there's such a nice community on Booktube as well. And I have a lot of Booktuber friends. And I love that it brings people from so many different backgrounds, so many different walks of life, all over the world. Like, I love that. And I don't know, I mean, you get that on Bookstagram too, but I feel like Booktube is yet another way to kind of access more people and meet more people who are very like-minded. That was the reason why I decided to start it. Why I decided to start it now, I have no idea. As I mentioned in my first video, I have a crazy job. And, you know, I run a tech company and it's not as if I need more stress, but I do really see this as being an important outlet for me to talk about something that I'm deeply passionate about and I love and I've loved since I was a very young age. So that's why I decided to start a Booktube channel. Next question is, what are some unique things that you can bring to Booktube? I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily have a niche. I guess the thing that I bring is my opinion, and my opinion is probably different to some people in certain ways and similar in other ways. I think what is unique is my perspective. Everybody's perspective is unique, and therefore I believe it is worth hearing, and that's what I can bring. What are you most excited about for this channel? Just meeting people. I've already met some great people just from doing this for a couple of weeks, and there's something really incredible, like I said in the first question, there's something really incredible about meeting people who are equally as passionate about what you are passionate about, especially when they come from very different backgrounds to you and you have different perspectives on life possibly, but then there is this thing that unites you. Books remind me of football. Football is one of those universal things. No matter wherever I go traveling, and I've been very fortunate to travel all around the world, football is one of those things that joins people up in such an incredible way, especially, and I'm specifically talking about British football. The Premier League, the Champions League as well. It's such a, you know, you can go to some of the remotest parts of the world and you'll see somebody wearing an Arsenal shirt or a Cristiano Ronaldo shirt or a Chelsea shirt, and it's so incredible. Books are the same for me. Like, I feel like you can go anywhere in the world, and while somebody might have read the same book as you in a different language, you are joined by this common understanding of why you love something, or even potentially why you don't love something. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm just excited about meeting people anywhere and everywhere who are different to me in every way, shape or form, or similar to me. I don't really, I'm not going to discriminate against people who have similar beliefs to me and similar reading tastes to me, but I just love that there is this opportunity to get access to so many people. That was a really long-winded answer, apologies. Next question is, why do you love reading? I love reading because it transports me to a different place in the world. It transports me to characters that I may have met in my real life, or may have some kind of elements of people that I know in real life. There are characters that I meet who are very similar to me or who are very dissimilar to me. And I love reading because it gives you this sense of wonder. It really fosters this sense of curiosity. I'm a very curious person by nature. And I think that is a big part of why I love reading, is because I love reading about so many different things. It just gives me this kind of, reading for me is, you know, what yoga is for a lot of people. It's what keeps me present. It's what allows me to really relax. It's the only thing, even more than video games, which is surprising because I love video games as well, but reading for me is the one thing that can truly take my mind off my day-to-day job and like the craziness that is my life. And it's the only thing that can do that. Nothing else even comes close. It's, you know, TV, movies, shows. Like, I don't really watch TV or movies or anything like that. I play video games, but not nearly as much as I used to. But books have always been that kind of consistent part of who I am, and it will always continue to be. What books and series got you into reading? I don't actually know. All I know is that I read a lot when I was very young. I was a early reader, like very, very early reader. And I remember reading Biff and Chip. So maybe that's, maybe that's what going. Biff and Chip, for people who are not in the UK, are these like books that are targeted at kind of very early young children. And they're just very, very simple in terms of their like they're very entry level, obviously, because you read them when you're like 4, 5, 6. So Biff and Chip, I have to give credit where it's due. And then I think in terms of series that have really fostered and developed my reading, Roald Dahl has got to be up there. A.A. Milne, who wrote Winnie the Pooh, has definitely got to be up there. And then J.K. Rowling with the Harry Potter series. Regardless of her personal beliefs, those books had a huge impact on my childhood. That will always be the case. And, you know, I don't want this to get political, but while I obviously disagree with a lot of what she has said, I can't discount that experience from my childhood because it was such a critical part of my childhood. And I will always remember it for that. So J.K. Rowling had a huge role with the Harry Potter series. Those are some of the kind of really key ones that I read when I was younger that have really helped kind of develop my reading taste as an adult. What questions would you ask your favourite booktubers? Thankfully, I know all of my favourite booktubers. I mean, the question that I ask them is, will you read this book with me? So please, if I ask you, booktuber, whoever you are, and I ask you, please, will you read this book with me? Please say yes. That's it. What challenges will be the hardest to overcome with this channel? For me, it's time. I mentioned this in my first video. I mentioned it earlier. Crazy job, crazy life, like most people, but my job in particular is just pretty insane. And just finding time to film videos really is the big thing. Weekends for me, I mean, I generally get 1 day off a week, which is Saturday. And on that day, I generally go off tech and I don't talk to anybody. And it's not that I'm antisocial, it's just I need to recover from the week. Finding the time, but I've found it such an enjoyable process filming videos and even editing them, actually. I haven't found it an issue so far. Might come up later on, but you know, right now it's been okay. I think the other thing is just, I guess, like finding engaging content, which is kind of where I always kind of come back to, you know, if you have any suggestions or you want to hear anything in particular about what I'm reading or what I like, what I dislike, please let me know, because, you know, I want to make sure that I'm sharing content that is interesting to you all. When did you start reading? From a very, very young age. Where do you read? I can pretty much read anywhere, but I have to be in a quiet space. I can't really read when other people are talking around me. It's a huge distraction because I like to really focus on the books that I read. As long as it's quiet, I can generally read anywhere. I mean, I read at home in my flat. I have a couple of parks very close by to where I live. So I always love to go to the park and find a quiet space and just kind of spend a couple of hours there when I can do that. It's so funny I say that, but I haven't done that in over a year. But I'm gonna try and do it this week because I have a week off. So book reading in parks, and then generally, yeah, I mean, I can basically read anywhere. What kind of books do you like to read? Unsurprisingly, a lot of fantasy, especially darker fantasy. I like to read classics as well. I've been trying to read more classics recently in particular. I've got a whole long list of classics that I need to get through. And then I also don't mind a little bit of romance now and then. It's not my number one choice for sure, but I do like to read a little bit of romance. But to be fair, it's mostly fantasy romance rather than just like contemporary romance. It's a mixed bag, but I'd say like 90% of what I read is fantasy, and then 2 to 3% is sci-fi, then like 5% is kind of classics, and then the rest is like other. And then I also read a lot of non-fiction, but I'm not going to be really talking about non-fiction on this channel. Maybe at some point, but I read a lot of non-fiction. I read maybe 3 or 4 non-fiction books at any one time. I'm reading about 4 at the moment. 1 tends to be kind of sciencey, 1 tends to be philosophy, and then 2 tend to be kind of business books. As you can tell, I like to learn. Last question, what does your book collection look like? I did a video on this and I will link it down below if you are interested to see what my book collection looks like, but you get a glimpse of it behind me now. That was the last question. I hope you enjoyed this video. I wanted to do it to give you a little bit more insight as to my motivations behind doing this channel and kind of what to expect. If you have any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them down below. But otherwise, I will see you in the next video. I hope you all have a lovely day and I will speak to you soon. Take care. Bye.